Did the Pittsburgh Steelers get the Kevin Dotson trade wrong last year? You'll be very surprised at my answer. No, the Pittsburgh Steelers did not get the trade wrong. If you look around Twitter, all around Twitter universe, you see Kevin Dotson. Yes, he got a massive deal, a huge deal. Kevin Dotson, breaking news from yesterday, Jordan Schulte, the Rams are re-signing star guard Kevin Dotson on a 3-year deal, $48 million. Sources tell at Bleacher Report. That's 16 APY for Dotson. Is that a year? $16 million a year to solidify LA's O-line. And half of Steeler Nation, not saying everyone, that's why it grinds my gears though. And I got my opinion, you guys can have yours. But half the Steeler Nation says, we shouldn't have let go of Dotson. He was awesome. Why can't Mike Tomlin evaluate players like that? Why do they get rid of this, and why? Do people not remember? And I like Dotson. I was a fan of Kevin Dotson from the very beginning to the very end when he got traded. I was keen. I was very hopeful to see how he could turn out. And he was playing more of a left guard from recent memory than he was playing right guard. But I was a fan of him. Just because a Steeler goes on and does well after they leave the team, this always happens. You never really hear it, though. You hear it on the other side where Devin Bush, Bud Dupree, guys like that, Kendrick Green, I think, wasn't the best player for the Texans. They'll say he was. Sometimes they'll say it. But I don't think it was that well for the Steelers. Nobody wanted Kendrick Green around. Only time they wanted him was fullback. So you see these stories. Rams are signing star Kevin Dotson 3-year deal. Do you know what that means? It means that the player, Kevin Dotson, has improved. He didn't just sit there stagnant and go, you know what? I was a Steeler. Now I'm a Ram. And I'm going to do nothing. No, he improved himself. Maybe it was a better system. Maybe it was to do the fact with the Rams have a better offense than the Steelers. Ever think about that? With Matthew Stafford, and we had Matt Canada last year, could go down to as well, the offensive line coach. Maybe we haven't got the best one in Pat Meyer. I'm not saying Pat Meyer's awful, but things run differently. And also, just because a Steeler is moved on to another team, it doesn't mean they can't compete and be the best player on that team. These things really frustrates me. Also pisses me off because shout out. You know what we should be saying? Good on you, Dotson. Got your 3-year contract. You're awesome, fantastic. But I want to give a shout out to Jeremy Betts, and Jeremy Betts does the Steel Curtain Network. I'm not having a massive go at him. I'm just having a critique on his comment that he made on Twitter because it is what do you guys are? Freedom of speech and whatnot. Jeremy Betts says here, this is a big middle finger to highlighting the Steelers' recent inability to properly assess and develop their own draft picks. It's a big issue that's flying under the radar. Dotson is the best example. There are plenty of others. I would like to know the plenty of others. What about the times where Bud Dupree going towards the Titans? We've heard absolutely nothing about that. What about, like I said before, Kendrick Green or dudes like that, Devin Bush? Nothing. So when Dotson does well and he gets the big deal, the big contract, fantastic. Kind of move on, wish him well. Why do we need to always bash the organization, bash Mike Tomlin because a player left? And also we had Isaac Seumalo coming in and we traded him away for a 4th and a 5th from memory. But I got one more to bring up that I want to show you guys from Andrew Filippono away. Kevin Dotson signed the 3rd biggest deal of a guard in NFL history. Steelers traded Dotson for a 5th round and a 4th round pick, a 2024, I think, for both of those. Brutal trade and even worse player evaluation. At the time, there were so many Steelers fans, probably Andrew even saying, get rid of Dotson. I'm not going to go back through receipts and look through all Twitterverse and try and find that, but I guarantee you blokes like Andrew Filippono way were saying, get rid of Dotson because of the flags, because of the bad play, because of the injuries. And I looked at his career too. Kevin Dotson in 2020, he played, of course, he played 13 games. He started 4. In 2021, he played 9 games, so he must have been injured. In 2022, in his last year, he played 17 games. Right? Do we not miss that? The fact there was flags and inability to play sometimes, wasn't the best O-lineman. And maybe sometimes too, that a change of pace or a change of scenery is a good thing. A lot of Steelers fans talk about that where they want Tomlin to leave and go somewhere else and bring a new coach in and he can go for another team. Maybe that could be a case or could happen. So in this case, I feel like Steelers fans even want the players just to not do nothing and be awful with a new team because they can't handle their success on another team. It's like Javon Hargrave. We couldn't afford him. He's doing really well. Oh, we should have kept Hargrave. It's the same thing with Mike Hilton. I'm a big fan of Mike Hilton. Now I don't really care about him. He's a Bengal doing great things over there, but they couldn't keep him because they chose, I think at the time, chose Cameron Sutton over Hilton. Cameron Sutton's now a Lion. It goes on forever. It goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. Right. Allegheny Andy says, how the hell did Pittsburgh go wrong with this guy? Like I just said, do you expect the Rams or the Kevin Dotson just to do nothing and not get better? He's trying to get better as a football player. And they traded him away to get picks. And they also had signed free agent Isaac Seumalo last year at left guard. And they had James Daniels, who they signed the year previous, I'm pretty sure, in 2022 for a 3-year contract. They had 2 guards. They had Nate Herbig as well, who they signed to for a backup guard. There was simply no room for Kevin Dotson and also to pay him that much money if he were to be good. Now he got traded away. He was at a new team. The Rams took him on. He got better. New contract. That's how it works out. But a lot of Steelers fans sit in the sadness, the misery of like, oh, we should have had him on our team. It's not how football works, man. A guy goes off the team, does better. You say, congrats, fantastic. I hear some ideas now that people are saying, well, Chooks, if Chooks goes and plays some good football on another team, great. And I bet you, if Chooks plays better on another team than he did for the Steelers, I bet you the same Steelers fans who called out Chooks and said he was awful, he's a bad right tackle, we don't need him, we need someone better, I bet you those same fans will be calling him out and saying, we wish he was a Steeler. I guarantee you the same thing will happen with Presley Harvin. If Presley Harvin goes into another team and he kicks the absolute, just flies the kick right into the moon and comes down and plays, he's the best punter in the NFL, I guarantee you they'll blame Mike Tomlin or blame the organization for that kind of stuff. Makes no sense to me. It always happens. One last comment. Matthew Hatchett here, a bloke on Twitter, just some random bloke. I'm a random bloke in my room. He's a random bloke on Twitter. He says, it is a bad idea, but typically Mike Tomlin move just trying to win a playoff game and not looking past 1 year. Tomlin team can't develop talent, and also that was proven this season by Kevin Dotson and Kendrick Green having great success on new teams. I first of all say, fantastic. Having good success, great. Awesome. I don't care. Dotson, get your $1 million. Kendrick Green, have a good time. Go to the playoffs. Do what you want to do. But at the time of the play, when they traded them both away, Kendrick Green was not a favorite in Pittsburgh. Nobody wanted him there. They wanted to shoo him out of there and get rid of him. Now that he's successful, well, the same fans want to keep carrying on about we should have kept Green. Same with Dotson. A lot of fans wanted Dotson out and get rid of him too. They were happy with the trade at the time. And here we are a year later. They're now saying we should never got rid of Kevin Dotson because X, Y, Z. Makes no sense. The same thing happened. One last thing. The same thing happened with Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs, when he started going on the 3 or 4, 2 or 3 game stretch, he went on getting TDs and a lot of Steel Nation saying, oh, we should have kept Dobbs. At the time, though, it made absolutely no sense because I think they had Big Ben. I think Dwayne Haskins, when he was playing before he passed away, he was on the team. I think even Mason Rudolph might have been on the team. So you had 3 quarterbacks, plus you had Josh Dobbs in like 2020 or 2021, whenever it may be, and we cut him or traded him away to the Browns. Something happened the second time. And Steel Nation's like, we should have kept Josh Dobbs. It's not how football works. Just because someone gets cut from a previous team, the Steelers are going to be successful, it doesn't mean the Steelers should have kept them at the same time. I guarantee you now that Keanu Neal, because he failed the physical, if he goes on to get better, go to another team, that Neal supporters will be like, oh, he was so much better with back with the Cowboys or his new team with the Cardinals or whoever he might play for. It seems like any free agents that the Steelers have are here for a 1-year, 2-year deal. A clear example would be Mason Cole. If Mason Cole goes to another organization, another team, and doesn't throw the ball into the dirt or into the up in the air, then the Steeler Nation will be like, oh, we should never got rid of Mason Cole. The key of my point, or the point to my whole argument or whole discussion or whole rant is it doesn't matter because they make the moves at the time what they think is best for the club. And at that time with Kevin Dotson, even though he had now he's got a 3-year deal, $48 million, so many more $1 million than me. Even at the time, he's got the big deal now. At the time, though, we had Isaac Seumalo. They had, I think it was Herbig as well, and James Daniels right guard. Had too many guards, so you had to get rid of someone. They got rid of Dotson on like his, third year into his fourth year. They could have given him a deal, but they didn't. They went and got Seumalo. And next minute, as they did that, he went on to play really well for the Rams and get a contract. It's not that big of a deal. So did the Pittsburgh Steelers make a mistake with Kevin Dotson? No.